song, please, for our missing soldiers and the soldiers that gave their ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. Okay, first order of business is roll call the officers. President's here, Jim Ramos, Vice President. John? Here. Treasurer, Susan Greenberg. Here. Parliamentarian, John Zindel. Secretary, Elizabeth Jim. And a roll call of our executive board, Don Miller. Here. Ed Kingside. Jane Chaika. Jane Chaika. Mary Karasek. Joyce Orland.
Yes, here.
Joyce is here.
Joyce.
Rich Tobin. Tobin's not here. And Ted Orland.
Here.
Ted's here. Okay. Very good. Okay. Minutes from our last meeting. We did not have a meeting in April, but we did have a meeting in February. And I'm just going to give you some of the highlights rather than reading the minutes. The meeting that we had in February was the candidates forum, and that was for the 3 Cook County offices that were up for election at the time. We had Cook County State's Attorney, we had Recorder of Deeds, and the last one, I can't remember what the last one was.
Circuit Court.
Circuit Court, thank you very much. And we had a very good presentation from the candidates, especially the Circuit Court that came in. We had the incumbent Dorothy Brown here, and there was a good exchange of questions and answers between them, and they inspired each other, so it was a very good meeting. If you didn't make that one, you missed a good one. It was very informative and very entertaining. So we had them here for that, and again, if you are interested in getting more information about the All-Berwyn Committee, I have a sign-in sheet over there. You can sign in and put your email address on there, and this way we can send you out some information. And there's also some applications for membership if you're interested in joining the All-Berwyn Committee. Applications are there too. So please help yourself there. And we have some pencils there. We had for our, this year we celebrated 70 years of existence. We were formed in April 1946. So this past April was 70 years of the All-Berwyn Committee. And we're still going. We're still going. So what we're looking for is more members. We need some more members. You know, as the members start to age, they can't make it to the meetings all the time. So we're looking for some new young blood. So if you're interested in joining, please take an application and become a member. Before I go any further, I would like to welcome our mayor, Mayor Lavero, Robert Lavero, who will be making a presentation a little bit later in the meeting. And I'm sure there's a slide presentation too, so I'm sure it'll be very interesting. Okay, executive board meeting. We did not meet for the executive board meeting. Treasury report. Susan?
Yes. So by default, I'm also the membership secretary. And we have, it's the end of our year this year, and we have 8 members, 3 of which, paid members this is, 3 of which are organizations. So I'm saying this because I really want to encourage you, as Jim has done, to join the All-Berwyn Committee. We're right at the, potentially at the end of our life, and after 70 years and great programs. I mean, I look forward every year to this. What good has happened in the city? Everybody's talking on the street when something goes wrong. You know, my alley has a pothole, whatever it is. But we really need to know what our tax money is being used for and all the great stuff that Berwyn is doing. I look forward to this meeting. And the candidates forums, we're the only organization in Berwyn that puts on nonpartisan candidates forums for the school board and for aldermanic and other local state and elections. And it's really a service to the community. So I would encourage you all to take a membership form. It's really cheap, $10 for an individual. But even if you don't join, come to the meetings if we still are in existence. And if people respond, we will be able to continue to be in existence. We're short a couple of board members for next year, so we need people who are interested to respond. So that said, we have plenty of money right now. We have $2,715 $15.03. And we have one membership that I'm holding from the Park District, Proxa Park. In case we don't survive, I didn't want to deposit that, but we do have a new member for next year. So we're ready for you guys to join. Please do.
Susan, on the individual members in February, you said there were 15.
That was from last year.
That was from last year? Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about the people that paid their membership for this current past year.
All right. Thank you, Susan. Correspondence. Secretary?
I only have one from Diego Estrella, which if he shows up, he'll go with the information, but if not, I'll read it at the end of the
Okay.
month.
Very good. What about the letter from, the letter I gave you?
Oh, and a letter from
Campiano?
Campiano, which I will also read.
Thank you. Okay, new business, do you have any new business? New business from anybody, membership? One thing is that I sent email out that I'm calling an executive board meeting for the first Thursday of the month, which I think is June 2nd. It'll be 7 o'clock here at City Hall, so executive board members, officers, and membership are allowed to come to the meeting. We'll be discussing some important things, so please come to the meeting. Let me know tonight if you can make it. If you can make it, we have enough members to have a quorum. We'll hold our meeting. All right, tonight, as I already mentioned, tonight's meeting is our annual address by the mayor, the State of Berwyn address, and he will make his presentation. Mayor?
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, ABC Committee, for having me back again this year. And I hope, Susan, that I have some of that good news for you. I think exactly your lead-in is exactly how I'm going to start also. Because the question always remains, boy, we pay a lot of taxes. Where are our tax dollars going? Why do we pay so much taxes? Well, let me start out by telling you that, first of all, the city of Berwyn, as far as taxes, is actually quite low compared to surrounding neighborhoods. And I do have to give credit, before we start, to my staff, Brian Papps and Ruth Albury, who basically have done most of the research and supplied me with most of this information. We work together as a team all the time, and we basically, Ruth is responsible for putting most of this all together, and Brian did most of our research. But if you look at Forest Park, and you're looking at median level homes, you're looking at homes in that $200,000 to $250,000 area, their taxes average about 2.49% of that purchase price. You look at Brookfield, 2.69% of that purchase price. You look at North Riverside, 1.88% of that purchase price. Look at Berwyn, 1.99% of that purchase price. We are very close to North Riverside. Let's not fool ourselves. North Riverside has a much larger sales tax base, retail sales tax base, than we do. We're doing really well. We're doing really well, and I will bring that up. But our tax percentage rate of what we're paying on our homes is not, it's not out of line. It's not out of line. Plus that, what do you get for your tax dollars? Compare what services we provide here in the city of Berwyn compared to surrounding communities. I'm going to tell you what we do. I'm going to leave it up to you to compare what kind of services these other communities get. I'm going to start off with our Berwyn Development Corporation and our building department, because they work very hard working together. First of all, we've had increased residential sales. We've had new businesses, we've had increased sales tax revenue. The Berwyn Development Corporation about 10 years ago came up with a marketing campaign. Originally that campaign started off to try and lure businesses to Berwyn. It really evolved into luring people to buy homes in Berwyn. Let's not kid ourselves. Berwyn housing stock is one of the best in Cook County. Anybody who lives in any of the brick bungalows can attest to that. So it really has spiked our real estate sales. We've targeting urban population, the young urban population looking to buy their first home or to move out of the city into a home in the suburbs. So that campaign has brought a lot of recognition to the city of Berwyn and has helped our increased sales. The increase in residential sales, we've increased from 778 in 2014 to 833 in 2015. That's the residential properties that have sold in those years. The average residential sales price increased from $167 odd in 2014 to $184, almost $185,000 in 2015. Over the past year alone, about 24 properties, ranging from single family to 3 flats, have sold between $300,000 and $400,000. Now, those of you that have been here since 2008, when we had the sharp decline in our sales, know that that's the values that we were at back then. I know my own home appraised out at $330,000 back at that period of time. After the decline, we would be lucky if we got $200,000. Now, those values are climbing. The real estate transfer tax, our 1%, increased by $50,000 in 2015 to $1.8 million. Before the decline, we were at $2 million. We were getting $2 million on our 1% sales, real estate tax sales. Now we're up at $1.8 million. So we're almost there, folks. We're doing terrific. And that's in great part due to the marketing campaign that has brought people to our community. That's a great part due to the sales tax, free property tax that we do have. We have an influx of people coming from communities in Chicago, Oak Park, surrounding communities, that they can't afford the home values. They can't afford the sales, the property taxes. We're talking about young urban couples moving to our community, starting their families. Along with that, we all know that most people that are looking to raise a family come to a community and look at their schools. Believe it or not, our schools are ranked very well within the state with respect to the types of programming they have. North Berwyn School District has been recognized for some of the technology programs. South Berwyn has been acclaimed for its one-on-one teaching methods. This year, I went down to Springfield with members of District 100. And the reason I went down there is not to say that state, you're not funding us any money, not to say that state, you've shut off all avenues of revenue, but to ask our legislators to please consider a fair, equitable funding method for our schools. It's true that the state has not funded 100% of what they said they were going to give. In fact, for the last 8 years, or 8 years ago, they cut the funding. They've slowly increased it, but they still don't fund 100% of what they say they're going to fund. We believe here in Berwyn that we are a low to middle income population. Why shouldn't we be receiving tax dollars for our schools that other communities do who can afford the higher property tax? Why should we suffer because our property value is at a $300,000 level as opposed to $1 million level? Our kids deserve the same education. That's what we went down to lobby for in Springfield. I went with the president of the school board. I went with the new superintendent from the school district. Increased sales tax revenue. When we took office in 2009, our sales tax was at $18,750,000 per year. In 2014, our sales tax rose to over $23 million per year. 2015 sales tax, as predicted by the BDC, is looking to increase by another $1 million for 2015. Our finance department can attest to that. They do projections all the time. We have opened up over 50 new businesses in the last 12 months. Video gaming. I know this is a hot topic right now, but video gaming revenue in 2015 was over $600,000 for the year. We saw video gaming as an opportunity to supplant some of the retail sales tax. We saw video gaming as an opportunity to fill Berwyn's coffers so we didn't have to raise property taxes to the extent that we were forced to do in earlier years. Now, yes, a lot of people have stated that, look, we have too much now. And I agree. We don't want to be in Las Vegas. That's not what we're here for. I agree with that. So over the last few months, between myself, our licensing officer, Tony Perry, the Berwyn Development Corporation, especially Curtis, Gerardo, and Tony Griffin, as well as some complaints from some of the aldermen, we've looked to curtail this. In fact, recently the City Council just passed an ordinance to stop it, stop the flow. We're not stopping it completely, but we are putting an end to some of the things known as gaming lounges. Well, that's the only reason that they're there. But we still want to help our businesses, because without video gaming, many of those businesses would have closed over the last year. So we still want to help those restaurants and bars that have been around for a while. We still want to help those people. We did put some restrictions with respect to how a person can get a license in those situations, with respect to them being open for a certain period of time, instead of just opening and all of a sudden getting a gaming license. Business is coming soon. We're just going to put that up on the slide for you. 2016 should bring, if not the completion, great advancement toward the second phase of Gateway, which is on Cermak and Harlem. Right now, we're looking to have a Sprint in there to compete with the Verizon. A Blaze Pizza, which is a new wave concept, which produces your pizza in 7 minutes with whatever toppings that you want. Fifth Third Bank is obviously relocated. They have moved in the last week to the new location. And there's at least 2 other places that we're dealing with right now that we're trying to bring on there. We still have letters of intent from Panera Bread, which is hoping to go there, and we're still working on a couple other aspects there. Other upcoming businesses, Out of Space is a new art studio and music studio in the Depot District. Oliver's Prime Cuts is due to be opening up soon, if not already, which is also in the Depot District. That's going to be seafood and steak, something that this neighborhood needs. Flapjack Brewery is opening up on Stanley. They're doing their work now. Las Clínicas, did I say that correctly? Correct me if I'm wrong. He's opening up soon. Home Run Inn Pizza on Cermak and Grove, and the Burns Tavern. Those boys have been putting a lot of money into that business. We're hoping that they're going to be open up soon too. And that's just a few. There's still many more coming. Tony Perry and I meet weekly with many new businesses that want to come to town. On the financial side, why our finance department is doing a great job. Lately, because we're going through our audit, they've been coming in on Saturdays to get the work done. Ben, Rashid, thank you. 7 straight years they've received a GFOA Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. We just received our 7th straight year. 2016, a balanced budget. The city's general fund, now our general fund is $52,749,836. We have a balanced budget. In 2009, when we first took office, the city of Berwyn had a Standard & Poor's outlook of A-, A-. We've increased our S&P rating and now maintain an investment grade A stable rating for the 4th straight year. This has lowered our interest on bonds, and it's increased marketability of bonds. And the reason we're so interested in bonds is because we know that while it adds to the long-term debt in Berwyn, we have debt that we've have over the last many years. Many of those bonds, when they're callable, the city of Berwyn didn't have that kind of money to pay those bonds. We had to restructure those bonds to reach an achievable payable rate. As a matter of fact, in 2008, our bond Just on our general bonds, our bond debt was about 80 million. We increased it to 90 million, 10 million in 8 years. And that stretched out our repayment plans, that stretched out our structure, so we didn't get hit with bonds that would cause us to raise the taxes 10, 15, 20% in order to pay those bonds. Plus that, we've addressed a long-standing issue in this community, and I'm talking about decades of city administrations not paying the proper share to the police and fire pensions. Before too long, for retirees, those pensions would have been belly up. We took it upon ourselves to say, look, maybe we didn't cause this, maybe we did. We know it's been going on for decades. We know it's all over. It's in every community, it's in the state. But it's time for us to do something and do it right. So we did what we thought was right, to float bonds to pay those pensions. So we've made a commitment to put $30 million into pensions with deficits. We're putting in, Felix, correct me if I'm wrong, we're putting in $30 million a year, every other year?
For both, yes.
Correct.
Yes.
15 police, 15 fire every other year. We reached an agreement with our unions, with our pension boards, to say, guys, we can't fund it all right now. We understand you can start taking our sales tax money pretty soon from the county, from the state. We can't afford to have that happen. And they've agreed with us with this plan. And we're doing it moderately so that it doesn't increase our property taxes in large share. In 2015, we achieved our mandated goal of 16% fund balance. As a matter of fact, Rashid informed me today that we actually exceeded our 16%. Our 16% is around the $9 million mark. We actually have a fund reserve of $16 million. Something the city of Berwyn has never had. As a matter of fact, in 2009, it was minus $234,524. At the end of 15, we increased it to $16,285,910. That money is not to be used to pay miscellaneous costs, general expenses. That money is to be put in reserve, to be held for catastrophe hits Berwyn, so we can meet the expenses that continues the services to our residents. Utility bills, stickers, payments, online related fees. It's been active for the last 12 months. As a matter of fact, online vehicle payments have increased from 977 in 2013 to 3,056 in 2015. Online water payments increased from 1,085 in 13 to 5,383 people in 2015. We believe that making it easier for our residents to pay online would keep that water and sticker payments coming in. And it has. People are taking advantage of it. We're not experiencing as long a lines. We still have long lines, but not as long a lines downstairs. We're experiencing people in the convenience of their home being able to pay online. As a matter of fact, what we turned around and did, many credit cards, MasterCard I believe is the biggest, would not allow a resident to use their card to pay online because we charged a fee in the beginning, a convenience fee, which most municipalities do. So in order to allow our residents ease and to use whatever card that they can use, the city of Berwyn is eating those fees. We're paying those fees. We're not charging our clients. We're not charging you, the resident. I'm going to move on to the fire department and police department. We all know basically how busy these ladies and gentlemen are. In the fire department, we had fires in Berwyn, 131 in 2014. It's dropped to 119 in 2015. And I believe that has a lot to do with the activity of our fire prevention department. Non-fire emergency medical service calls, 6,484 calls in 2015. We are the most active community in the Loyola system with respect to medical emergency calls. In 2015, we created a new public CPR AED defibrillator program which is implemented for the residents. You want to learn how to do that? Contact our fire department. They will teach you how to use the AED and CPR. In 2015, 12,951 hours of training was done by staff, which improves services and reduces injuries. Since 2015, we instituted a plan for reoccurring annual business license inspections for fire prevention. Mario Manfredini's in charge of that. He's done 300 inspections along with firemen working on their off time for a minimal stipend. They've done 300 business inspections. In 2015, we haven't had those in years, guys. In years, we haven't had those. In 2014, we tested 1,067 fire hydrants. The fire department raised our ISO rating because of all the fire hydrants working and being tested. 2015 had 54 new business inspections, 100 fire prevention plan reviews, 35 Knox box systems installed, which allows the fire department to access the business without having the owner there. The fire department has inspected all Berwyn schools and brought fire awareness program to the elementary schools. The goals for 2016, and I'm going to mix them a little general. Goals for the fire department. Upgrade all non-transport fire apparatus from first responders to EMT basic life support. That's non-transport. That's our fire engines. To EMT basic life support. Because of our paramedic program and our program with hiring people that are paramedic, EMT certified, become firefighters, we're able to do that. They want to introduce to the community a paramedicine pilot program to focus on vital signs, falls, home safety. They want to inspect the churches, city-owned buildings, park district buildings. That's their goal for 2016. I don't think it's too lofty. Based on what the Fire Prevention Bureau has done to this point, I think they can do it. The police department. Our patrol officers now carry emergency medical supplies and are trained in first aid and certified in CPR and the use of the AED. There are several officers that have also been trained in crisis intervention training so that they can assist the residents with mental illness. Excuse me one minute. Try it. My mother will tell you if you're smoking too much. Training for officers was done in many state-mandated and non-mandated topics with regards to firearm, tasers, baton, use of force, bloodborne pathogens, hazardous materials, physical tactics, scenario-based training, etc. Overall, officers received in excess of 5,000 hours of training in 2015. Our guys are prepared. They're out on the street. They're prepared. Our dispatchers, our telecommunications division, they received in excess of 80,000 calls for service. Dispatched in excess of 70,000 calls for police, fire, EMS, and had in excess of over 350,000 police fire radio transmissions. Our telecommunicators, once they dispatch, don't hang up. They communicate with the officer, they communicate with the fire department, they communicate with the person who called in the emergency. They stay on the line. In fact, they're all trained in giving medical emergency treatment until the first responders arrive. Which, again, I'm going to point to somebody in the fire department, our response time is probably one of the best in the states. Am I not correct, gentlemen? Our graffiti unit from our police department removed 1,169 homes with graffiti in 2015. Continues to be a major problem. But with the graffiti, every graffiti removal call comes pictures, comes identification, goes to the tactical unit, the detective bureau, so they can identify trends in gangs or just taggers. Our animal control responded to 2,151 calls in 2015. The unfortunate aspect about the animal control is by federal law, raccoons, possums, things of that nature that are captured at your home, they can only be released within 1 mile. So oftentimes you will find them back, which could lead to a lot of the repetition of calls. Unfortunately, we're bound by federal law with respect to that. But animal control responds promptly. We've expanded our volunteers in police service program. I think Commander Smagley is here in the audience. I think he can address that. They now assist in cataloging. Our volunteers at the police department assist in cataloging, scanning, preserving our archive dating back to the 1920s. Volunteers donated over 2,500 hours in 2015. Those are the people in the black shirts you'll see at the police department, working behind the counters. Crime analysis. This has become a very, very big topic here in the city of Berlin. And the reason is because the police department is going to be putting forward a new method of policing. It's called problem-oriented policing, POPs. Crime analysis, and I'm going to give credit to Wayne Sador because he's the mastermind behind this. They put together crime statistics. You know, because you can go on the Berlin Watch website and you can actually log in to see what's happening in your community, see what type of crimes are being committed, where they're being committed. He takes all those statistics, he puts them together so they can track patterns. They can then give information of value to our detective bureau and our TACT officers so they can predict where they think what's going to happen next and they can be ready. And it is work. It has worked. These obviously will target the areas that are highest likelihood of criminal activity in the city of Berlin. The Neighborhood Watch Program. We're actually going through an upgrade of our Neighborhood Watch techniques. The police department has put out there for many years that we're open to change in order for the Neighborhood Watch to meet more residents' needs and to meet more residents. Obviously, as you said, Jim, earlier, volunteerism dies. People don't like to come to meetings. People don't like to join organizations. They get tired. So what we tried to do is come up with a new method of reaching people for the Neighborhood Watch program. And I have to give the credit again to Commander Smagley and his staff for putting all this together. We made better use of social media and its emergency notification system. Over 70,000 people viewed the police department info on Facebook last year, and we received valuable feedback passed on to the police department. They have their own Facebook. If you're not on the emergency notification system, I would implore you to please sign up. You can actually pick what you want to hear. Weather alerts, traffic alerts, problems in the community. Obviously, you don't want your phone to buzz every time there's a weather system going on, but you can pick and choose what you wish to be alerted at. Excuse me. The landlines, if you still have a landline, those are probably in our system because we inherited those from landlines that have been in town for a lot of years, but your cell phones are not. You need to put your cell phones, and many people are strictly cell phone people nowadays. You need to give the emergency notification system that information you need to sign up. And the information's on the PD website in order to do that. The PD monitors and interacts with the South Berwyn Watch group on Facebook, and they're now discussing starting a North Berwyn Watch on Facebook. Again, it's coming off from the police department. They're very active in trying to reach the residents. Aldermen are getting involved in starting their own watch groups in their wards and inviting police to attend their ward meetings. We're trying to get these meetings, instead of neighborhood watch, back to the individual wards. Let the aldermen have the meetings. The police department are always coming out there telling what's going on. The quarterly newsletter is still very popular. We have a circulation of 5,000 copies that goes out, and it's also online. We're also hosting community-wide meetings. Recent topics have been the cyber safety, bullying prevention, and fire safety. We're trying to address programs to the entire community that involve everybody, especially kids with student age. Many of the programs appeal to parents to come out and learn what's going on with their kids in school. The Berwyn Police Explorer program, they're celebrating their 50th anniversary of their first charter with the Boy Scouts of America. They have 30 members right now between the age of 14 and 21. Most of those individuals are interested in career law enforcement, but they volunteer their time to come at community events. They were actually posted the colors last night, the best of Berwyn. The junior cadet program, where it's really expanding, has 60 members. That's geared at the middle school age children. And that's tied in with the school resource officer, which is Brian Cantwell, who's very active in the elementary schools and middle schools, both North and South Berwyn. He's really grown that junior cadet program. They focus on positive relationships between the police department and the youth at all those schools. We don't want children to be afraid of those men, most of them are in white back there, with the men in blue. We want them to see them as their friends, both police and fire, because you, the residents, the kids in school, you're the ears and the eyes of the community. We find out more information from you guys than we can find out ourselves most time. The Citizens Alert Program. This year they're going to be expanding that program. The police department's collaborating with the finance department to get people registered during vehicle sticker season. We worked with our collection department to come up with new information on your vehicle registration form for your tags so that we can turn that information in to the ENS program so the police department can have your information. You can opt out. Not saying you have to give it to us. You can opt out. There will be a box to check on your vehicle tag registration form to opt out. We're asking that you all opt in. You could choose, again, as I said, between the information received, and you also can choose how to receive that info, text, email, cell phone, whatever. The easy registration, do you have the website up there, Ruth?
I don't.
www.berwyn-il.gov. Our community development block grant on 16th Street, they work in conjunction with our public works. They work hand in hand. But one program that they do have that most people either don't know about or don't bother to inform themselves on is our single-family rehab. We have money in single-family rehab. It's income-based, understand that. To help people that don't have the necessary income to fix things like roofs, or gutters, or windows.
Pointing, stairs, furnaces.
It's a no-interest loan program that you don't have to pay back until you sell your property. Many, and this is really appealing to seniors. Many seniors have used it over the years. Lately, most of the people we've had inquiring here either don't meet the income qualifications or are reluctant to tell our staff where their income's coming from. I mean, you can tell that they have income coming in because they're paying bills, but they won't tell the staff. They have to have complete information. The federal government regulates, you have to have complete information or you don't qualify for the single rehab program. But it's there, it's available. In addition, and I think we still have CDBG monies, we're getting over $1 million again. A lot of it's going from public works and infrastructure programs. The CDBG and our public works with Director Schiller work hand in hand in doing the sidewalk program in areas that are low to moderate income, in doing infrastructure in our streets. We did the 13th Street based on CDBG funds. With our engineer Nicole Campbell, Bob Schiller, and Reggie, they put that together and we were able to put brand new sewer system and upgrade sewers and do a complete remake from 13th Street from one area to what area? Lombard to Wesley. Those are the types of programs that we work together on with the funds that are available to us. Don't count on too many state funds, guys, but there are still some federal funds. Going on with public works, the infrastructure will continue to improve through 2015. In 2015, they installed over 150 feet of 12-inch water main on the 6500 block of Windsor, setting ourselves up for that depot project we're going to talk about in a few minutes. They completed the 13th Street pavement and sewer replacement project. 3,305 feet of pavement was replaced, 500 feet of sewer was replaced, 10,520 feet of sewers were cleaned. We swept 9,700 miles of streets. There's one of those services that you can compare to other towns. Compare to the towns next door to us, compare to the towns in DuPage County. We sweep our streets once a week, guys. Once a week. Most towns are lucky if they do it once a month. Some places in DuPage County, once a quarter, Brian.
Right.
We do it once a week. We sweep our streets once a week. We're going to continue with the upgrades in the sewer system with 800 feet of total repairs. And again, this was in collaboration also with the CDBG. We replaced 250 residential street lights with LED street lights in 2015. Hopefully most of you have seen them. An additional 351 are planned to be replaced this summer. So we're going to continue with the LED street light replacement program. It's actually brought a lot more brightness to our streets than I think we've been missing for quite a few years. We did revise our snow removal, and we did notify, we sent info to all households outlining the snow removal procedures and the schedules, the snow routes, and the snow hotline number now we have. Provide residents with current information on snow removal procedure. If you do not receive something at your residence, please contact us. We'll make sure you get it. We're going to talk about grants that Public Works has gotten. They actually have secured $9,500,000 in grant funds for the Depot Streetscape Infrastructure Project. That's going to improve water mains, sewers, roadways, sidewalk, lighting, and green infrastructure throughout that depot on Stanley and Windsor Avenues. The improved water mains are going to help you, the residents that live in those areas, because it's going to obviously give you added pressure. Bigger mains flows more water. We secured $60,000 in grant funds for design engineering for transportation issues along 16th Street. We just recently learned that the 16 alleys we had planned for green alleys, the money's tied up by the state, they did appropriate it, but we're still in the mix to get those monies. So we're going to move forward with our plans to try and get those green alleys started. In 2015, we removed 329 diseased trees and trimmed over 700 trees. We actually added a full-time arborist to our city staff. So in years past, we heard complaints about our guys not knowing what they're doing, butchering the trees. We got that information from a tree survey that was conducted by an arborist that we consulted as an outside contractor. Now we have our own arborist on staff. The generator at the 19th Street pumping station, which will improve for all of them, doesn't just take care of Northport. Should we lose power, we have now put in a backup generator. When we had, what year was it, Brian, when Rob, when the tower was almost empty?
2011.
2011, our tower on the south end, just about empty. Had that gone empty, none of us would have had water. We would have water in the houses. We got lucky. We decided not to try and get lucky again. So we went out for bids and we got a generator at the 19th Street pumping station, which will prevent, in the case of an outage, that tower from draining. So it will keep us with water running. And again, that will keep that water running throughout the city of Rome, not just leave it open. Residential flood mitigation program. We heard at a flood meeting that we conducted approximately a year and a half, 2 years ago, Nicole? Okay. That people were having problems with flooding in their basements. Basement's a basement, guys. We all have problems. It wasn't because the Corps of Engineers wouldn't open up the locks. It wasn't. It's because water backs up in these ancient sewers all the way down the line. And it backs up into our houses. So, we went out and we bonded for $1 million to provide a flood mitigation program. We've provided financial assistance up to 50% of a flood control system or an overhead sewer, not to exceed $3,500. 274 households have taken part in the program. Only a total of 93, though, have received reimbursement because they have to install the system, pay for it, seek a reimbursement. The current limit on the program is only 285. So if you guys are still having problems, get involved in that program. There's still room. We will then evaluate going forward, once again, either through a bonding method or grants, whether or not we can do the program. We want to keep it going, though. That is our goal. Green infrastructure improvements, boy. When I hear green, I always have to look at Nicole because that's her forte. Our engineer, our senior engineer, looks for these green projects all over the board. She coordinated the free raid barrel program with her staff with MWRD. Currently, 540 households have taken part in the program, and another 785 barrels are on order. They're working with developers that are rehabbing or constructing new commercial buildings. And when I see this presentation and I see the underlying strongly encouraging between Bob Schiller and Chuck Lazzara, our building director, they're more than strongly encouraging that new developments contain detention. In fact, when we work with RDAs, with the redevelopment, with the Berwyn Development Corporation, we work with a redevelopment agreement, it's automatically in there. They have to provide detention. So we're greatly reducing, we're greatly insisting. And a lot of the new businesses, they're making them upsize their water service too, because with the life safety requirements of either a drawing a blank. Sprinklers, thank you, Mario. Sprinklers, oftentimes the pressure is not sufficient, so we're making businesses, especially when we're coming with businesses that want to do breweries, to go out on site to upsize their water lines. Boy, our rec department, I don't know if you could find a busier department than our rec department. Youth basketball, over 600 players, over 50 teams. Men's basketball, of which I don't think any of us are involved in, over 20 teams. Youth soccer, over 1,000 players over 3 seasons. Summer baseball, over 500 players. The rec department is basically taking over baseball in Berwyn. They're the hub of all the baseball programs here. They also provide mini Mustangs basketball camps, youth flag football, fall league, adult summer and fall softball leagues with over 75 teams, and over 50 years of age adult softball program, of which I am a team member, but will not be playing this year because of the recent surgeries I had. Next year. The rec department also collaborates with numerous athletic and community groups throughout Berwyn. Berwyn Women's Club, Art League, Blazers, Bulldogs, Mustangs, Lady Mustangs, Berwyn Bash Girls Softball, District 100 16-inch youth softball, Berwyn Inline Hockey Club, Berwyn Mounds Fall Baseball, Berwyn Swim Club. Plus that, they provide youth camps. We have an average of 100 children in our after-school camps at the Berwyn Rec. Summer camp averages over 200 children. And we seasonally hire local youth to serve as counselors, lifeguards, and maintenance crews for those programs. Our Berwyn Rec is also maintains the only outdoor public swimming pool in the city of Berwyn. They offer swimming classes. It's open swim to all residents, free swimming to Berwyn seniors. The senior programming that they provide, every month, other than the summer months, we have free luncheons for the seniors there. Anywhere between 250 to 300 seniors come for a free lunch. They love it. They love it. I don't know if anybody here has been to one. They love it. They have free swimming, senior bingo, Care Insure adult program. They're expanding their senior club with over 300 seniors. Plus they provide various trips for activities for the seniors. And they provide the youth seasonal parties, Halloween, Christmas, Easter. Anybody that wonders where Tony Markovich is, I can tell you where he's at. Our senior services department, Mary Debchek, coordinates that. We now have 5 vans with 4 handicap lifts, up to 5 vans. We transport 663 qualified individuals in that. It's $1 ride. $1 each way. $1 there, $1 there. Our lawn service program. We service the lawn for the people that qualify, 213 households. Snow removal, 269 households. Our handyman service, we have 239 registered households for our handyman service. She holds a shredding event every year. I think she does it at the library and or at the rec.
At the rec.
She has the yearly senior Christmas breakfast, which packs the place. We pack Skyways. So our handyman, our senior services, which also is funded partially through the CDBG, is doing phenomenal, folks, doing phenomenal. Our library with our new director, Keisha Garnett. Keisha, most of these people haven't met you. Can you stand up, please? Building renovations are beginning this month. I don't know if you saw the cover of the Life newspaper. Building renovations are beginning this month. That's going to include a new children's department, an audiovisual department. We hope to be finished with that in June. When Keisha came in, she inherited what was going to be a long, arduous, multi-million-dollar task that we could not achieve. She turned it around and did something good for the library and turned it into this new children's department and audiovisual department. She introduced self-checkout, which allowed, well, I don't know that Keisha did, but it's been introduced in the Pearl Library. It allows the library to save on staff costs and allows patrons to process their transaction in private, and it decreases the lines there. The library's Career Center, this is something that most of us don't know exists. They have a Career Center. Signed up as 1,000 users. The center assists with resume preparation, job searching. It's co-sponsored 2 job fairs designed to place teens with eligible employees. And we have members of the library that are here with us today. Thank you very much, guys. The teen programming has doubled in 2015 due to 2 new teen associates at the library. Very strong program still continues, targeting all Berwyn residents. Book clubs, reading programs, writers groups, activities for all, adult learning. I even went to one where they were teaching the seniors, adults, anybody that wanted to come, how to surf the internet, how to get on the web. I thought it was fantastic, because I'm not that good at it. With that being said, guys, I think that as a taxpayer myself, I think our taxes are being wisely used, and I think they're being used to provide the services that you've all come to enjoy and you all come to deserve. I made a pledge to never cut those services. I think we've increased those services. We've done well with our budget. We've got a strong reserve. Our financial outlook is good. Our financial outlook is great in my opinion compared to what we have had in the past. We have businesses coming to town. We've been listed in Cranes as well as several other magazines as a community on the move. I go to mayor's dinners once a month. In fact, I'm missing one tonight. I go to mayor's dinners. I had the mayor of Hillside, who's been mayor for over 20 years. Wow, I surfed your website. I love what you're doing for senior programming. We're going to copy some of that. Tony Griffin and I have been invited to speak to the chambers at Riverside, North Riverside, Oak Park. Tony Griffin more than me, because he's the expert. To talk about how we were able to achieve what we achieved. Guys, the way we achieved it is through a lot of hard work, a lot of marketing, a lot of getting out there, ringing doorbells, knocking on doors, making phone calls, and a lot of cooperation, not only from the city staff, not only from the aldermen, but also from the residents. So we're there to try and help you as best we can. My office is always open. Recently we started a water shutoff program. It's been like a revolving door in my office, in Rashid and Ben's office, in Tony Bertuga, city attorney's office, to try and help people so they don't get their water shut off. We're sitting here with open ears. We want our residents to be happy. We want them to stay, but the bills do need to get paid. But we will assist. With that being said, I have nothing else. I'm open for questions, sir.
Thank you very much. If anybody has a question or comment, please raise your hand. start over here. Okay.
Mayor, I was wondering, can the city of Berwyn put any pressure on Commonwealth Edison? Because we've had a lot of power outages. And I know it's not a, Berwyn supplied utility, but is there anything you can do about that?
Yeah, we've actually had a couple of people talk to us about that, especially in the areas where the grids, I don't know if they've done all the work on the grids, where they do experience them quite often. And yes, you call our office and we put pressure. We generally find out because Bob Schiller usually finds out, the police department finds out, the fire department finds out. We do call. Brian Apps generally calls them every other week when we have problems. We have a representative that is a government liaison. She had left for a while, she's coming back, but if we don't get satisfaction there, we go right to her boss, who will give us answers. Most of the time, unfortunately, Mrs. Ramos, it's more reasons as opposed to what do you do to fix it. But we do, yes, we can put pressure, and it's the constant phone calls.
Anybody have the same question, comment? Yes, sir?
What is a green alley? I really am into the green, and I haven't heard of green alleys, but I'd like to know what that means.
I'm going to let Nicole explain it to you, just because she is the expert.
It's an alley that is permeable,
Oh, could you
so
please
it
stand up?
collects,
Excellent.
so
That's
it
what I was
collects the
hoping.
water and it infiltrates into the ground instead of going into the storm sewers.
So is it brick or is it some kind of a,
It's
An
a center
asphalt
line
base?
paved, brick pavers.
yeah. I would like to get together with her sometime.
Sure, anytime. I'm in the basement.
Anybody else in this side? Anybody? Thank you. Yes.
That's just a miscommunication. Mayor, you stated the fire prevention totals for 2015 in Mario's too, I don't know, searching for the right word. He's too modest to stand up and correct this. But the fire prevention totals, Mario's division did every business in Berwyn in 2015, which was, I believe, close to 1,000. And they also, the 300 you referred to was the new businesses and the follow-ups
You're right.
to the, each time they went to those businesses.
Thank you very much for that.
So every business was inspected.
Folks, believe me, I'm not always right. I don't always know all the answers, but I have people around me that do. That's what makes the city great.
Question or comment? Question or comment? Franklin? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, you mentioned shredding. Is there a shredding event coming up?
The Senior Services Program puts out a shredding event. I believe it's usually in September. So that's generally the one. Once in a while, there will be other shredding events that do come up. What we try and do is we find out about, because we're a member of the West Central Municipal Conference, which is Western Cook County, if we find out about shredding events that are being hosted for countywide or electronic disposal countywide, we will put those on our website. So watch our website, but the one that the seniors usually host is in September.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? Anybody? That's it? Anybody else has a comment or question?
Could I have a new
Yes.
tree, please?
You have what?
A new tree?
Wow, what's there, because of all the trees we've taken down, what are we doing with trees? I know we'd like to wait about a year or so.
It's a minimum of a year, preferably two. We want to let the root system decay. After that point, then please call our office, put yourself in line for a tree replacement. We'll come out, we'll investigate, make sure that it won't interfere with your sewer service or sight lines for traffic or overhead wires. If it does not, then we'll put you on the list for the next time we plant trees, and that'll be provided free of charge.
Carol, you should actually call your alderman or your mayor. We'll get you on the list.
Last call. Anybody else? Yes.
One thing you didn't mention was the farmer's market that was
You know-
going on for a couple of years now.
You're right, Susan. I actually completely missed the township. I centered informed what the city provides, but I'd be really remiss, and as I'm looking at that, I am remiss in the fact that the township provides a lot of services that we don't deal with. although we do interact quite a bit, especially when it comes to inspections with some of our newer businesses that serve food. And yes, Beth, did you want to tell them about the farmers market?
The farmers market will be back. Thank you, Dave. You're the one who spearheaded it, Assessor Avila. Farmers market will be back starting in June. It'll be the second and fourth Sundays of every month from 9 to 1. Come on in, and Dave, you want to tell everybody we're open for appeals?
Yes, so,
Yes, David.
yeah, if you guys, sorry, so if you guys want to appeal your assessment, now's your time until May 20th, come out to our office or, give us an email, send us an email, and stuff.
Beth, I believe you have some flyers over here.
There are some flyers up in front, and there's also some little business cards for the farmers market that fit nicely in your wallet, so you will never forget a farmers market day.
So please help yourself to the flyers from the township and also a membership for ABC, and sign up if you're interested in attending more meetings like this.
I would like to, Jim, if you don't mind, the Berwyn Development Corporation couldn't be here tonight because they were presenting a check from the philanthropic committee to one of the Berwyn schools that has a chorus, I believe. But Joseph Mondragon back there is the president of the Berwyn Development Board, so Joseph just appeared. Joseph, we brought up a lot about the Berwyn Development Corporation and Tony Griffin. I just want to let people know that they are very active.
You want to tell me where you're located, so this way everybody knows?
I'm located all over the place, quite honestly. I'm all about town, but that's a great thing. This is a great community. In large part, the Berwyn Development Corporation has done tremendous things, not only this year, but in years past. The mayor mentioned that we're acknowledged by some of the major publications in the city and in the state, and actually nationally as well. So our small town is up and coming. I think it's always been here, but now people are starting to realize that, we actually have great things to offer. So part of why I was late tonight was the BDC decided to form a philanthropic commission, and that commission was born from our board members who decided that because we were doing so well in the community that we had to give back in a way that ensures our future. So we presented a check to the Lincoln Middle School for $1,000. They have, those funds will be retroactive in that they've already gone to their particular event in Washington, D.C. They sang at the, on the steps of the memorial, Lincoln Memorial. So, and they won, I think second place nationally. So, in small part, we attributed to that and the community at large. So, thanks to all of you.
Last night at the Best of Berwyn, the philanthropic committee gave $1,000 to the first three winners, first three placements at the Best of Berwyn.
Absolutely.
To the Best of Berwyn, I would suggest next year you go to see how many were there on? 30 kids that are on stage. The top 30, you're one of the judges, right? 30 kids who are, and again, they're not necessarily judged solely on grades. They're judged on their overall character. They're judged on their community service. They're judged on their community support. They're judged on what they do in school. They're judged on their overall character. To see 30 kids up there, 20? Okay, 20 kids, and believe me, not one of them regrets that they didn't get the top prize. They all congratulate the winner. And to see them on video and to hear them talk, it's really amazing the kids we have going through our school systems, guys. It really is. It's really a great event.
As a former judge, it's very hard to pick the winner.
Yeah.
You go through all the interviews with all the kids, and they're so great. It's hard to pick one, but you have to pick that one. And usually it's one of the best ones that they have. So again, as you said, if you haven't attended that, please try to attend it. It's a very good event. Before we adjourn, again, I would like to thank Mayor Romero for coming.
Did she have some letters?
Yes, I have.
Oh, yes, okay.
I'll read Ken Romera's letters first, and then I'll read Diego Estrella, because he has 4 questions. And this person only has, I guess, a comment. So checking to see if he continues. Attic to look into his vehicle stickers. We didn't realize we had garage only. Going to court is coming up. Loaded to a grandchild. Also, if frozen in winter and left outside, more tickets just in for people pay the $50 and save $450 in tickets. We are not visitor friendly like other boroughs. Thanks, Ted Moreno.
I didn't quite understand what she was talking about parking in garages and getting tickets.
I'm just reading what he wrote.
Her car got the ticket because it was garage only, and the granddaughter borrowed it and parked it on the street.
Yes.
Okay, and I can fully understand that happening. If she had gone to adjudication court, I'm sure the adjudicators would have told her, look, don't let it happen again. We're not looking to penalize anybody, but the fact is this is something that the residents asked for. And what we did was we provided an opportunity for them to pay the same fee instead of an increase in fee if they kept their car off the street. So mistakes happen. We understand it. The adjudicators in our local ordinance court understand. If for some reason somebody can't make a court date, we're always available for that discussion.
And then I'm going to read Diego Estrellas. He has 4 questions or 4 comments. Number 1. Well, let me start with Jim. Oh, this is thanking Jim for, unfortunately, I may run late this evening and may miss the opportunity to submit a couple of questions for the mayor. I send my questions via email, so we send it to him. Number 1, census data has shown Berwick at 59.4 Hispanic population. What efforts is the Lavero administration championing to ensure that municipal employment opportunities are being communicated to now majority Hispanic population?
Sounds like Diego should. And Diego should know, because he's been involved with me for a long time. And it's true. We actually had the census numbers about 57% Hispanic. And understand this, guys. I'm part Hispanic. Okay? I'm Italian, I'm part Hispanic. The Lavero administration has hired more people Hispanic than anybody else. We actually pay a stipend to some of our employees here who are bilingual to translate. My office, between the 3 people I have in my office, is 2/3 bilingual. We have made great steps in trying to put people to work. In fact, all our ads for every job says bilingual preferred. But understand this, we hire the people that are the most qualified. We don't hire people strictly based on race, creed, color. There are a lot of jobs that require certain levels of skill and education. We will look for the best person for that job because they're serving you, my community, your community. But we do make strides to try and hire bilingual people, Hispanic people. In fact, you can walk through City Hall any day. You can see how many people are here. Our police department's about 25% Hispanic. Fire department, probably somewhat similar. But the point is that for those jobs, require certain educational levels. If they're not getting applications from those people that qualify, they can't interview. So please, and Diego should know that. That's a question that I'm really offended by because I've done great strides in not looking at a person's skin or their color, but trying to help our residents and trying to get bilingual people in our community services here. Thank you.
Number 2, with the recent addition to many new faces to the police and public works departments, are there any statistics on the percentage of urban residents employed in either department?
They probably have statistics. I don't keep those statistics. I know in the police department, one of our police and fire commissioner secretaries here, they actually get additional points if they live in Berwyn.
They get 5 additional preference points if they prove their residency.
As long as they prove the residency.
And 5 points is a lot of points.
Right. And in our public works department, in fact, we just had 4 new hires, Bob. And out of those 4, 3, I think, 2, 3. 3
of the 4 are Berwyn residents.
3 of the 4 are Berwyn residents. So yes, we always look to try and put our Berwyn people to work. Definitely.
Can I just clarify what is the last 5 points?
When you take the test for the police and fire departments, you get points based on various factors. One of those factors, is it the same on the fire department, Tony?
Both. We offer the test in the same manner for both sides.
One of us are, you get 5 points out of a certain amount of points towards your score
Thank you.
if you live in Berwyn.
There's actually several categories. Military gets 5 points. That's by federal law. And then there's also preference points for education. The higher the education, the rating, they get 2.5 for every degree they have. And like I said, the Berwyn resident, which is the same as a veteran's point, gets 5. It's a lot of points.
Thank you. Number 3, District 100 is once again on the verge of pursuing a referendum to ask South Berwyn property owners to support a tax increase. As the CEO of Berwyn, is the Lovero administration publicly supporting the referendum?
Did Diego ask that question when District 98 was going through the same problem? I don't think so. Here's my point, guys. My point is, and I've been very clear on this, I spoke about it at a District 100 board meeting. I am in favor of the school board because I trust those people. Examining all the issues, and that includes cost-cutting methods, possible referendum, whatever they need to do, they should do. I'm not in favor of cutting teachers' jobs or jobs in the school district. I am in favor of them looking where they can cut costs before they ask the people to raise a referendum, and that's what they're doing. My goal as the CEO of Berwyn, in my opinion, was to accompany those people downstate to try and lobby our legislators to give us our fair share of the school fund. That's what I think.
Then right after that, we said, well, if so, I know you said you're in favor of the Board of Education examination, which we are. So how will the administration communicate support to the majority, or your opinion, to the 78% District 100 families that are currently in the low-income bracket?
Well, I don't think that question's applicable because I haven't said.
But what your decision, whether you're supporting or not, how will you communicate that information?
I communicated at the District 100 school. And it was actually on television with this year, televised about politics.
True. So, number 4, absentee Berwyn landlords continue to diminish the city's pride in our neighborhoods with unruly and literally tenants. In the Lovero administration, is the Lovero administration taking any action to enforce existing ordinance, add or strengthen existing ordinance, or enhance its communication and ordinance to non-resident landlords?
Yes, we've been doing that from day one. From day one, we've always had a policy in effect that if we have a problem at one of these rentals where the landlord is absent, we will do what we have to do with the problem, but then we notify the landlord. Once they have notice, if it happens again, we can ticket them, and we have. And Acting Chief Smaglia back there is giving us the nod with the information. Our city attorney, Tony Bertuca, has been writing those ordinances and monitors that. Our building director, Chuck Lazara, has been making sure that that occurs with our entire police department. Understand this. There was an ordinance that we disbanded with when we first got in that called for a safe, where you had to register, every building owner, apartment dwelling owner had to register their buildings and go to classes. That ordinance is found to be unconstitutional. So I'm very glad that we didn't get sued based on that. We've taken our own method, and I think it's worked well. It still needs a lot of cleanup, trust me. It still does. There's no doubt about that. We've actually worked out some agreements with some of the building managers by them posting their signs on the buildings that they manage, because some of the managers are a lot more expensive than the building owners.
Thank you, that's all the questions.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Final call. Nobody? Again, I would like to thank Mayor Lovero for coming tonight, and I would like to thank you for coming tonight, and again, help yourself to the information over here. There's also some pencils from ABC. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Second? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Carried. Thank you very much for coming again.